You held onto your files tightly as you hurried down the hallway, dodging groups of students and almost bumping into some of them. The deadline for turning in your project work was today, and you couldn't be late. Your pulse pounded in your ears, not only because you were in a hurry, but also because you were really nervous. Turning the corner toward the department staff room, you kept your gaze down, focusing on your feet. Suddenly, someone was pushed back in a fight and bumped into you. The impact made your papers fly up and scatter everywhere. The staff fell over the railing, down, and it landed in a puddle of rainwater and mud in the courtyard below. The rain was falling softly, ruining all your hard work, a month's worth of surveys, charts, and data by soaking it. You couldn't believe what you saw. Your hands tightened around the railing as you hurried over. Looking down, you saw your papers lying in a puddle of muddy rainwater with the ink starting to run together. Behind you, a fight was still going on, students shouting, someone struggling against lockers, but it didn't feel real to you right then. All you could focus on was your notes slowly falling apart in the rain. Then there was a pause, not total silence, but a break just enough for you to notice that someone was staring at you. Shankar, known as the troublemaker, had bruised knuckles from a fight. His eyebrows were scrunched up in anger and something else. He looked at the files in the puddle and then back at you, making you feel nervous. You turned to face him, feeling embarrassed and scared that he might get mad or blame you. You made yourself speak, trying to sound confident but feeling anxious. It's okay, I have no problem. I can take care of it. It's not your fault. I was the one who wasn't paying attention. He frowned more and clenched his jaw. Without saying anything, you turned away, wiping your tears. You didn't even realize you were falling and hurried down the hallway, leaving him behind to deal with his thoughts. He looked down at your files again, which were getting ruined in the muddy rainwater. She didn't do anything. I was the one who bumped into her. He took a shaky breath, which he usually would hide with anger, and let out a big sigh. Your tears made him realize how important those papers were to you. He clenched his jaw, quietly struggling with a feeling he hadn't felt in a long time regret. The opponent he had been fighting stumbled forward and grabbed his shoulder, trying to start the fight again. Without looking back, Django pulled his arm back and threw a strong punch right at the guy's nose, making him fall to the ground with a grunt. Then, without a word, he turned around. His shadow was visible in the rainy hallway, and his thoughts were all jumbled up, thinking about whether he should do or say something about the ruined papers. He slipped into the quiet corner of the library, away from the prying eyes, away from the chaos that had just turned your day upside down. The moment you found refuge between two tall bookshelves, you pressed your back against the wooden frame and let the tears you had been holding back break free. Never in your life had you delayed submitting something, and for your bad luck, you hadn't made a single copy. That stack was your only set of notes, your only chance to securing a grade. The rain had turned them into pulp, all your hard work gone in a matter of minutes. Quietly, you turned your face into the sea, trying to muffle your sobs when a prickle down your spine made you stiffen. You turn your head to the side, and there he was, Shango, leaning casually against a nearby bookshelf, with his piercing gaze fixed directly on you. Your pulse skyrocketed. Panic down at your stomach, he was going to scold you, blame you, let his infamous streak rain down upon you, even though it hadn't been your fault. So you turned, first to the right, then to the left, then back to the right, looking for a way to escape. Stop. You froze in your spot, keeping your head bowed as he started closing the distance between you two until he was just a few inches away. He didn't know why, but a small smile tugged at the corner of his lips as he noticed your nervous fidgeting, your hunched shoulders, and the way you avoided his gaze. What was that papers? It's my project. He fell silent for a moment then he lowered his voice. When is the last date? Today. He was close enough now that you could feel his warmth and the nervous rush of your own pulse. Are you the one who bumped into me, or was it me? You slowly forced yourself to lift your gaze just a little to meet his. I didn't walk carefully. He pressed his palm flat against the nearby shelf, making you shiver and rush of nervous energy made your knees speak. I don't want anyone to take the blame. I don't need anyone's good certificate. So if I did something wrong, just say I did. I don't give. He cut himself off, reluctantly choosing not to let that word pass his lips in front of you, surprised by his own ability to hold back then. He drew in another shaky breath, reluctantly turning his face back towards you as if there was something he wanted to say about your own project, something less aggressive, something softer. But just as the words were about to form, a group of boys turned with a row of shouts. Did you beat up my brother again? He sighed heavily, feeling frustrated and resigned, knowing a confrontation was about to happen. He hesitantly moved back, creating some space between you, and his grip on the shelf loosened. He turned casually towards the group, already bracing for another showdown. And in that moment, while his back was turned, you turned and darted away from the down the nearest row of books, putting as much distance as you could between yourself. He clenched his jaw in disbelief, feeling annoyed as he turned just in time to see you vanish from sight. His fists were getting wet, ready to fire, but part of him was struggling with something else that bothered him under his anger. Why don't you care? Every girl on the campus wanted a moment like this for him to notice him even a little, but you kept ignoring him in the hallway and now here, like it was something you wanted to avoid. He hadn't paid attention to you before, hadn't cared until today, until he saw you fidgeting, your hands shaking, and your look of disbelief. And now that he was finally showing interest, you didn't even want it. That nagging feeling made him grip tighter, increasing his anger. He lunged forward, grabbing the first boy by the collar, and then chaos erupted in the usually quiet library, breaking the calm. And through it all, you kept your back turned and not realizing how much you were adding to his frustration, making his anger burn even more. You slid into the seat in disbelief, shaking your head as you whispered under your breath. But how? Who? Mina, your friend turned towards you, furrowing her eyebrows in confusion. What? How? Why? Who? You pressed your fingertips against your forehead. I went to ask Miss Harper for an extension, but she said my project's already been submitted. Mina fell silent for a minute and then let out a disbelieving gasp. Wait, what? Did someone submit it for you? But you said it was showing. That's what I'm wondering. Suddenly, you pressed a hand against your lower abdomen and winced. I got my periods today. I'm not really feeling well, but I came anyway thinking I could do something about the project. All at once, a rush of nausea rose up and sending his stomach into a spiral. He stood up abruptly, turning a little pale. Oh my, I think I want to throw up. Before Mina could say another word, you rushed down the row of desks and darted out of the classroom, one hand over your mouth, practically sprinting toward the restroom, afraid you wouldn't make it in time if you slowed down even a step. You turned down the corridor just a few feet away from the restroom when a strong grip suddenly closed around your wrist. Before you could react, you were tucked back and pressed against the wall, and your back bumped against the lockers. Your eyes widened as you found yourself staring directly into Jacob's peering gaze. How dare you run away from there yesterday before I finished talking to you? You kept your hand over your mouth, battling the rush that was creeping up your throat. You couldn't speak, you couldn't explain. He let out a heavy, frustrated sigh. What's with you? You're making me chase you? Do you even know who I am? Hmm. You tried to mumble against your hand, a weak, desperate protest, but he didn't seem to be listening. He grew more annoyed, reluctantly prying your hand away. And in that moment, with your defenses down and your stomach rebelling, you turned and threw up directly on his shirt. His grip faltered and he slowly let go of your wrist as he took a step back, looking completely shocked. The hallway was empty and silent except for your shaky breaths and the small drops of liquid falling from his shirt to the floor. Your own stomach knotted tighter, not just from the sickness but from pure regret. Your cheeks grew warm with embarrassment and your hands trembled. I'm sorry, I couldn't hold it in. I didn't mean. I was going to the restroom. I was feeling nauseous. He raised an eyebrow, looking from your face to his shirt, which had gotten messy because of you, and then back to your face. Dad, I'll wash it for you, please. Please don't shout. He exhaled sharply, not in rage, but in disbelief as he rushed to take the blame when it had been your fault again. Then it clicked. He realized you were afraid of him. Afraid because of his image, short temper, the farts, the rumors, the stories that circulated about him, when all you had done was try to avoid conflict. He stepped forward just a bit more, letting his shadow fall over you. That's it. You think washing my shirt is enough? As a punishment, you're going to come with me and wash this, along with all the laundry I have at home. Your eyes widened in disbelief. What? He held your gaze for a moment, just enough long for your nervousness to reach its peak. Then the corner of his lips slowly tugged up into a mischievous mark. He clicked his tongue and frowned dramatically. What? You know I'm not a good person and that people stay away from me, but you still manage to run away from me without permission. He let your nervous pulse thrum just a little faster, then he stepped forward, closing whatever space was left between you. You have got guts for that, but not for this. He nodded towards his shirt, then casually slid his hands into his pockets. You're coming with me, and that's final. He turned without another word, tugging up his collar as he started down the corridor. His stride was purposeful, a little intimidating, that kind that made people step back without a second thought. For a moment, you stayed rooted to the spot, unsure whether to follow or make a break of it. But then something made your feet move to walk forward, a strange thread tying you to him, and you fell into a step few paces behind. He kept sneaking glances at you from the side of his eye. You were sitting stiffly in the passenger seat, gripping the seat belt tightly. He pressed his lips together, trying not to smile, but it was hard. You looked like a lost puppy caught in a storm. He turned down a quieter side road, the houses standing out until there were only trees and fields on the outside. The moment the engine fell silent, you turned towards him. Reached you home? He didn't reply. Instead, without ceremony, he started unbuttoning his shirt, making you grip tighter on the seat beneath you. Why? You whispered quietly, wondering what he was thinking, why he was undressing in a place like this. He slipped the fabric off his shoulders, letting it hang momentarily before dropping it outside, opening the door. He leaned towards you slowly, and your seat began to move back, adding a rush of nervous energy to your already pounding heart. You reached into the back seat, then casually pulled out a new shirt from a bag resting there. He slipped it over his head and tucked it down, all while you turned your face away, thinking it was something bad, something you hadn't meant to happen. But instead, it was something much simpler, much more ordinary, yet much more confusing for your own heart. You blinked, still turned away, and then finally dared to ask. You told me to wash it, so why do you throw that one away? He shrugged, smirking just a little. Sympathy. You blinked again, surprised at the answer. Oh. The car stayed still without him making any attempt to take it forward. You opened your mouth to ask something else, but stopped, unsure. You know something? This car's soundproof. I can make the doors blackish. No one will know there's people inside. I can do whatever I want. Good. Wait, what? His voice dropped a shade, making shivers round down your spine. What were you thinking when the bad boy told you to come with him all by yourself? You bite your lips together, trying to stay calm, but then you started to lose control. Your bottom lip trembled, and a few tears fell down your face, then more followed, and soon you were crying like a child. Please don't hurt me. I'm a virgin. I'm on my periods too. Have some mercy. I promise I won't bother you again. Even quiet, gripping the steering wheel so tightly that his knuckles turned white. Then out of nowhere, he hit the wheel with his fist, making a loud noise that startled you and gave you goosebumps. I was just kidding. I'm sorry. I went too far. I didn't know you were. I didn't realize. I'm not like that, I swear. You stopped crying and wiped your tears with your hand. Your eyebrows were scrunched together because this wasn't the jungle you knew or were afraid of, at least not right now. I wasn't really taking you home. I just wanted to tease you a bit, make you a little scared because honestly, your face looks kind of cute when you're scared. You straightened up in your seat, turning your face forward and focusing your view out the windshield, thinking he mad or something. Your thoughts began to spiral, wondering if you were really sitting with the same person everyone whispered about in the hallways. Do you have a twin? A twin? Yeah, because the Django can know. He's mad at everything. He fights without a second thought. He wouldn't care if someone cried or begged. He tightened his jaw, reluctantly turning his gaze back towards the road. Maybe there's something I care about more than I let show. I didn't understand. He sighed deeply, then slowly turned his body towards you. Look, I already like you. To tell you the truth, I hadn't even noticed you until yesterday. But from then, I start feeling weird. I hate it when you run away from me. I want to be near you. I don't care if that makes me mad or anything. These last few hours, they were worth it. Worth it for me to fall for you. Or else I'm not crazy enough to redo your project in a few hours and submit it myself yesterday. You did that? But how? It was all ruined. He lets out a short breath, tilting his head just a bit. Not that much. I also thought it was, but it completely wasn't. I found out your project topic, the one that got accepted by your department, and I scared a few nerds into concentrating into this all day and half night to help me bring back together. I don't know if it's the exact same as you originally did, but it's something. At least it's not a mess, and I sneaked back into the department last night and turned it in for you. You smile softly, looking down at your hands. Thank you, really. Did you smile for me or for the project? You bit your lip, hesitating a moment before answering honestly. Honestly, this is for the project. I didn't want my grades to drop, and you raised an eyebrow waiting. You took a deep breath and your cheeks flushed as you admitted. You are a good guy. That's the best thing I have heard from the one person I wanted to hear it from. But that's all. My answer to my confession. You tighten your grip on your seat belt, reluctantly meeting his gaze. I don't know. If you give me some time, I'll think about it. Alright, that's a fair point. Actually, I'm not a patient person, but for you, I'll wait. And if you say yes, you're free to throw up on me every time you want. A rush of embarrassment craved up your cheek. Shut up. Oh, I thought you liked knocking me at yours. Your cheeks grew even redder. Shut up.